It's good to listen to all of your reviews. And well done to all who submitted their assignments. Even though I saw that some people went and used ChatGPT for me. Interesting. Anyway, um, we move on to today's topic. The last time we ended on a topic that I promised, or we ended on a subtopic that I promised will be our starting point for today. Is there anybody that would like to remind me what that is? If you remember, just raise your hand. Okay, Jerry, please talk.
Okay, ma, you said that you were going to expatiate on the that you were going to expatiate on audio content, visual content, and the rest of them.
All right, that's amazing. Thank you. Forms of content. Forms of content. And as promised, that's where we're going to start from today. So the first one, I talked about written content. And I said written content is in text format. And you can find them. Those are the type of content that you find on your social media posts, on your articles, in newspapers. It's written text you find in newspaper now. In newspapers, on blog posts, and what have you, on even news websites. Like you have Punch, you have Opera News, you have Nation, and all those. On their websites, you find written content. Now, okay, don't let me divert. Let's just continue. Then the next one is visual content, where I talked about videos, graphics, animations, and the rest of them. Now, visual content is supposed to display content that appeals to your eyes. It means that when you see it just passes the message in one piece. When you see a picture, for instance, the picture on your screen currently, the picture passes a message. Whatever it is that is in the picture, you're going to have to grab a message from it. You're seeing a laptop, you're seeing a cup of tea, you're seeing a notepad, you're seeing a pen, and you're seeing somebody's hands typing on the laptop. That passes a message. It could pass different messages to different people. But the basic message is that this person is probably a tech person, probably a content creator, as we are discussing in this class, who is working with a laptop and, of course, with the notepad by the side and his or her cup of tea for refreshing while at work. So that's visual. Visual, it brings to limelight the message that you want to pass, sometimes even without text. Sometimes when you post a picture, for those who have been to my timeline, you will see maybe me writing about a cake that I made or a pastry that I made, and then you are seeing the picture. But sometimes you see a picture, you don't even have to see a text before you grab the message in the picture. That's basically what visuals do. Next, please. Then we have, so you're talking about not just pictures, we're also talking about videos. For instance, when you see a movie or when you see an advert, a marketing video advert, the message is passed. Once you see whatever is being displayed without them even talking, even if you can't hear the audio, attached to that video, the message will still be passed across to you. What I'm saying in essence is that in most cases, visual content pass the message to you with or without written text. So you can pass information to your audience just by videos alone. You can pass information to your audience just by picture alone. For instance, you have a flyer that has all the information that you need to pass to your audience, and then you just post the flyer. You don't need to add an additional text before they understand what is in the flyer. That's an example of a good graphics. For those who are in the graphics design class, I'm sure that you would have learned something of that nature. So the next one is audio. For audio content, next slide, please. For audio content, like the name implies, it's just in audio format. You have apps today that have been developed to read even text for you. So if that is an example of audio content, for instance, you are using a read aloud app, you want to read a book. But instead of carrying the book and reading it by yourself, you are using the read aloud app to read it to yourself. You're allowing that app read it to you rather. That's an example of audio content. And then the radio that we are used to, what you don't see them, right? You don't see, it's not in video format, it's not in written format. But they who are presenting, especially when they have to read the news, when they're presenting, they read the text to you. But you who is listening on the other end, you're listening to the audio form. People deliver messages through audio. Like currently, I'm using both video and audio for this presentation. You can't see me, but you're seeing the slides, yet you're hearing my voice. So I'm presenting to you currently through both the audio and the video format. It's not the video that I'm displaying that is talking. I'm the one doing the talking, right? That's the same way it applies on the radio. Then and also when people deliver audio messages, I already cited an example of audiobook. Some people read their book and put it online for you to buy as audiobook, and then you just listen to the book. You don't have to read it if you don't have the means to do so. Then podcasts. That one has become the order of the day now in the online space. There have people who this is what they do for a living, presenting podcasts. For some, is another stream of income because people get to listen and then they are able to monetize. Through that, they are also able to, draw traffic to themselves to probably sell other services that their brand offers. So that's basically every format in which you can put your content. So you're either displaying it as written text, or you're presenting it as audio, or you're presenting it as a picture, or you're presenting it as a video. There are examples of animations too. I believe a lot of us have seen animations, either picture animations. Picture animations include cartoon, and then we have video animations as well. Thank God for AI now. It has made everything quite easy for a lot of people. That's why some people went to use ChatGPT for their assignment. It was so obvious. It didn't replicate. I didn't even understand what the person's brand or the person's service is all about. Next slide, please. So these forms of content, on what platforms can you use them? I know that over the discussion that we have been having since Tuesday, I've mentioned some examples already. So, and from the assignment that you did, I know that you have an overview of what exactly I'm talking about when I'm saying platforms for sharing content. So the first one is Facebook. Facebook, like I mentioned on Tuesday, is basically a written text platform. However, videos, pictures, either long videos or short videos now thrive on Facebook. And then I also discovered, or research has shown that um, content, written content, even though it's the basic format on Facebook, when it has a visual, in addition to it, it reaches more people. It drives more engagement than strictly written content. However, that depends on how well you have built your brand. It depends on what you're doing. It depends on what you're selling. It depends on what you're using your Facebook for. I'll cite an example. If you don't know her, you can try to check her out. Chioma Ifeanyi. She doesn't do a lot of visuals on her Facebook profile. It's even recently that she started adding some images um, frequently because of AI. And then when she wants to advertise her accounting classes, she does data entry classes. When she wants to advertise some of her services, she uses pictures. But when she's writing her regular content, out of 10 content that she writes in a day, sometimes you may not find one with picture. And she drives engagement. She has over 150,000 followers on Facebook. So she has built herself to that stage. However, like I said, it depends on what you're selling, it depends on what you're doing, it depends on how you have grown your audience. Remember that in the last class, I talked about quality of food. So I'm not saying that you cannot post without pictures. If you check my timeline too, there are days, in fact, a lot of times, especially last year, if you go through last year, there are a lot of times that I don't put pictures and I just pass the message that I need to pass. But for instance, if I notice that engagement has dropped, that's just a tip for you. If I notice that engagement has dropped for a while, or I am not posting at the time that I normally would post and drive engagement, I will add a picture. And like I said, it depends on what you're posting. In the last class, I cited an example of my Thursday that I do post Throwback Thursday. It's normal that because it's a Throwback Thursday, there will be a picture, right? So that's it. And then on Sundays too, I always say Sundays are for full pictures because it's the only day I get somebody that can snap me full pictures. I still post pictures. Sometimes I add the message of the day, the sermon from church. Sometimes I just put a random message. So then on other days, you find short messages. All in all, Facebook is a text platform, but videos and visuals now thrive on Facebook, especially now that there's even advert, there's a marketplace, and then there's also room for you to build a page and then also advertise. On Facebook, you cannot advertise without good pictures. If you post pictures with low quality or videos with low quality on your reels, and then probably you want to use it to advertise, you see that it's going to be blur, and that won't drive the kind of sales that you expect. So even if you're going to be using picture or video on Facebook, you're expected to use that which is of high quality. Next, please. The next one is Instagram. The next one is Twitter. Twitter is a text platform. All of us know that Twitter is a text platform, but pictures, people also use pictures and videos on Twitter, but not as much as they now use on Facebook. And then for the text format on Twitter, the characters are limited. The characters are limited. People use Twitter for business. They also use it for personal branding. They use it for both professional and unprofessional use. Let me put it that way. They use it for both professional and unprofessional use. Now, if you feel that you want to, the message that you are passing, you can afford to put it down in bits. Like we on Twitter, you post, they call it thread. You post as a thread if your message is long. So you have to cut it into the number of characters that each tweet can take before you post. So if you feel that your content is always long, I think you should grow your audience on Facebook. However, if you have the patience to break it down in bits, if you have the patience to break it down in bits as it's done on Twitter, it means that you're going to have to post like about 10 threads to pass your message. Now you ask yourself, what type of message am I passing? Are people willing to go all the way to read the whole of the 10 threads? Would they not lose interest and all of those things? So you just have to find the one that works for you, depending on what you're doing. The next one is LinkedIn. LinkedIn is also a text platform. I've seen people post pictures. I'm not very sure of videos, but I've seen people also post pictures on LinkedIn. However, LinkedIn is a more professional platform. Of all these other platforms that we are talking about, LinkedIn is a more professional platform. It's a good platform to build a personal brand. And also, if you want to build a portfolio, maybe you're seeking for a job, or you're a freelancer, you're trying to develop yourself, you're trying to maybe look for volunteering positions and all those things. It's a good platform to do all of that. However, in all of these platforms, most especially on LinkedIn, you can't afford to be you can't afford to not, should I say, use quality English? No, that's not the word. You can't afford to not be professional about your tone of content, and in professionality, we're talking about a good command of English language. Now, there's one thing that I'm going to be talking about later, is how you can, because sometimes even if you have a good command of English language, if you're not patient, if you're not intentional, if you're not putting attention to how you create your content, you might still end up making errors. It happens to me as well. So I'll be talking about how to tackle that later on. Now, the next one is YouTube. On YouTube, we know that it's strictly a video platform. People now put, sometimes you can find short text under the videos, but you will all agree with me that we're not talking about the type of text that you find on Facebook or the type that you find on Twitter. Sure, you get, it's strictly a video platform. And then you can either post it recorded, you can either post those videos as you have recorded them earlier, or you can share live videos. It's a learning or training platform. You can learn, everybody knows that. You can learn on YouTube. And then, of course, it's a training platform because those you are learning from, they are practically training you. Just like we had a recording of our last class, now present on YouTube. So anybody can go there now and learn something just like you did in the live class. It's now a recorded video that has been posted. So anybody can go there and learn about content creation, just like you have done. So the next one is Instagram. Instagram, we know, like I said last time too, that it's a visual platform. It's video and graphics that's right there. Either you're posting your personal picture or you're posting your brand picture. In fact, a lot of people today use Instagram majorly for business more than for for social purpose. Initially, when Instagram started, people were using it just for social purpose. You just post your pictures, you put one hashtag, you put any caption that you like. But today, people have technology has evolved, business has evolved, intentionality in the online space has evolved. So many people today use Instagram for business more than for social purpose. In fact, most people have shifted their social life to Facebook and they're now doing business strictly on Instagram. However, we know that people also still use text on Instagram, but it shouldn't be, or it cannot be as long as that you have on Facebook or maybe on LinkedIn. It's usually a short caption or sometimes a short story that tells what that product or what that service that you are posting about is all about. So, and the beautiful thing about Instagram, for you to know that it's strictly a visual platform, is that you can't post a text without a visual. So it means that on Instagram, you can't post a video without, you can't post a text without a video. You can't, you can post your video without a text, but you can't post a text without a video or a picture or maybe a graphic or a flyer, an animation, whatever that you intend to post. The next one is TikTok. We all know that TikTok is a video platform as well. And a lot of learning takes place on TikTok. I mean, a lot. I know somebody who teaches mathematics and chemistry on TikTok. As a matter of fact, he got his first client abroad through TikTok. That's, he started teaching somebody's child because of the content that he shares on TikTok. So TikTok is not only for entertainment, as many of us used to think, or maybe many of us think. It could also be a learning platform. And of course, an advert platform. Many people advertise, talk about their products, talk about their service, talk about their brand, whatever they do in TikTok videos. People post, share inspirational advice and all of that on TikTok. So it's not only an entertainment platform. There are a lot of things that you can get on TikTok. Okay, so that's it's about the platforms that we're going to be discussing for the purpose of this class. I know that we all know that whatever we are discussing in this period of time that we're going to be learning learning content creation through GWC, we know that we can't do all that content creation entails. There are advanced levels of content creation. It's way beyond what we are discussing or what we're going to be discussing in this period of 2 weeks. So with that, I move on to discuss what it means to create content effectively. Now, we have journeyed from what content creation is, what content is, the types of content that you can create, that's the quality of food that you're giving to your audience, in what format are you serving this food. Even if it's quality, if you're not serving it in the right format, people will not get the value. That's what I was saying when I was saying you need to define the form with which you want to serve your content, and then you need to define the place where you are going to be serving that content. So if you want to do more of writing, you can't expect to be found on Instagram, or you can't expect to be building what you want to build on Instagram. If you want to do more of pictures, or you want to do more of trainings, you want to do more of vlogs, you can't expect to be doing that on LinkedIn. You can do a bit of it on Facebook. You can do a bit of it on Instagram, but you should be found more on YouTube. You should be found more on TikTok. So I hope up onto this level, we have understood the trend that we have followed. Please, can somebody confirm to me that you are following?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
So, how do you create content effectively? First of all, what is effective content creation? It involves the crafting of materials that resonates with your target audience. It has to fulfill a specific purpose or goal, and then it drives desired actions or engagement. Now, I need you to underline these three things: resonating with your target audience, fulfilling a specific purpose or goal, and then driving desired actions or engagement. It means that before you create content at all, you need to have a goal in mind. Like, you don't just wake up and then you're just creating content with like no reason. It's just like you get up in the morning and then you just move out of your bedroom, out of your house, and you're just going. I believe we all know that that is equal to saying that somebody is going crazy. Like, you're just going without a destination, without a definition, you're just moving around. No. Content creation is also like that. Before you start creating content, before you decide on the type of content that you want to create, before you say, oh, this is the format I'm going to use, or before you say that, oh, this is where I'm going to share it, you need to have defined that purpose for which you want to create content. That's number one. Number two, you have to define, when you're defined why you want to share your content, you have to define who you want to share this content with. Remember, in the last class, I said, anytime you're sharing content, don't believe that your content is for everybody. That's why personally, or even in the online space, people have started talking about that you shouldn't, we call it vein metrics rather, vein metrics, METRICS. It means that don't judge the quality of your content or the reach of your content by the number of engagements you get. That means by the number of likes or by the number of comments. No, don't do that, because we have discovered that the content, the type of content that strikes people more, don't even get those kind of engagement. For instance, if you're doing a marketing content, you may find that people will not engage on that post, but they will be in your inbox doing the buying while you're closing the sale. Sorry, that was a diversion. So I was saying that you shouldn't you shouldn't feel that your content is for everybody. No. Define your target audience and know that every time you put out a content, you are talking to one person. Who is that one person? Like there's a friend of mine, let me cite an example. There's a friend of mine who together we have been talking about healthy living, healthy eating. We say that healthy eating is automatically healthy living because what goes into our body, what goes into our system is what our body brings out. It reflects on the outer side. So we have been advocating that people should cook food without seasoning cubes. Now, when we put out such content, I'm not talking to that person who is hell-bent on using 2 seasoning cubes to fry 2 eggs and will insist that without doing that, the egg will not be sweet. No way, that's not my target audience. My target audience or our target audience are those people who understand that with or without seasoning cubes, your food can be sweet. In fact, your food can be sweeter without seasoning cubes because there are natural spices that people use to cook. And if they don't tell you, you would not know that they don't use seasoning cubes. So we're talking to that person who is intentional about his or her health, who understands that what you put inside is what will reflect on the outside. So when you find people falling sick, you understand that it's as a result not only of external factors, but also of what has been consumed by them. So those people who understand this thing, they are our target audience. So when we're putting out a post, we only have, the goal is to enhance healthy living, to promote healthy living, healthy eating and healthy living. Now, the target audience are those people who want to be intentional about their health, who want a healthy lifestyle. So when I make that kind of post, or when we make that kind of post, people may not engage, but people who understand will come behind the scene. In fact, there have been many of them, and come and ask, okay, you said you don't use seasoning cubes in beans. How then do you make it sweet? And then we teach them. If we teach for free, we also have classes that we organize. If it's something we can just say on the Outlook, just tell them, okay, just add this, and try. And people have testified. They come back and give feedback. Like, oh, I tried it and it was really nice. It didn't even look like I didn't use seasoning cubes. That is the goal. I mean, that is the desired result, the action, the engagement that we expect. So I've analyzed these 3 using this example that I just cited. I talked about purpose or goal. I talked about the target audience and then the desired actions or engagement. So you have a goal in mind and you're talking to one person because you expect action. Just like we're organizing this class, I mentioned in the group that when you learn, the evidence of your learning is implementation. So what's the goal of teaching this class? Because we believe that everybody who is on this call wants to be better at content creation, and you're already here. So we want to impact the knowledge, which we are already doing. You are the target audience, right? The people who want to be better at content creation, you are the target audience. The goal is to impact the knowledge of content creation. And then the desired action and engagement is to see that you actually become better. So you are implementing everything you are learning so that you will improve. It will be evident that you have actually improved in your content creation game. I don't know if everything I said makes sense at all. I hope it's not cumbersome. So that is how to define effectiveness in anything at all. So as regards creating content effectively, I hope we understand now. so that when I begin to diversify, you grab it more easily. I believe I've been able to break it down. Are we still together?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Thank you. So I said they include the various forms such as articles, videos, social media posts, more. They're tailored. I've already explained those things. They're already tailored to the platform and the audience preferences. So if you have defined your target audience, you need to know where you are going to find the target audience that you have defined. So key elements that you should be talking about when you are referring to effective content creation is relevance. If what you're posting is not relevant to me, of course, I will not pay attention to it. If it doesn't have value, zero. If I read today, I read tomorrow, or listen if it's an audio, or I watch if it's a video. If it's not adding value to me, it's not presenting you to me. It's not presenting to me what is meant to present. Of course, I will not return. If it's not authentic, if I see, for instance, there are some people that on their page, all they do, or on their profile rather, on their timeline, all they do is tag, share posts, maybe share religious posts, and then you'll be asking, is this person a pastor? They are not pastors. Well, the only thing they share on their profile is their maybe pastors, whatever that was posted. They always share it on their profile. I'm not saying it's wrong to share religious posts, but is that what you're all about? Are you promoting your pastor or you're promoting yourself? It is your timeline, it is your profile. Then you also find that some people, they are always tagging them. Different people tag them to irrelevant things that do not even resonate with what they stand for at all. And then they are accepting the tags there on their timeline. And then you just go to the timeline and find it all scattered, and you're like, what is this? You don't know what this person stands for. So if you're not authentic in your content creation game, then you're not, it's not being effective. You're not expressing what you're expected to express. If you're not consistent, people will not stay. People will not stay. It means that you are here today, and then in another 1 month you're not there, and then you come back and you're saying, who missed me? Hello. The social media space has gone way beyond that. Nobody missed you. The next, okay, I already entered optimization with what I was saying about tagging, sharing irrelevant posts and all of that. The program that we have will not cover profile optimization. I would have really loved to teach that, but we can discuss that some other time, but not in the course of this our program. Then, okay, optimization. The optimization also includes for search engines and then for algorithm. So it means that you would have gotten, when you talk about effective content creation, there's a level that you're going to get to that when somebody searches for you, even on Google, they will find, or they are searching for a particular type of content. You have been doing that and then maybe share using that particular hashtag for a long time. You would easily be found. You would easily be found on different platforms where you are. Now, having expatiated what it takes to create content effectively, what are the principles that you need to be able to actually do that the way you are expected to? I already said it. I've already explained. I've already expatiated. Know your audience. Understand your target audience. You need to do the demographics, their age, their gender, their profession, their location, their type of income, or their source of income, their type of income, their income range, their career, These are the things that you need to know before you start churning out content. Preference, their interests. Because if there's anybody here that knows about Facebook ads or ads generally in the online space, you understand that these things need to be defined before you put out that. If you're just putting out ads without defining all these things, you're just wasting your money, because the algorithm will be doing your ad anyhow, will not know where to direct it to. The same thing with your content. If you are not tailoring it to address somebody, if you're not tailoring it to address one person, who is that one person? What's that? They call it customer avatar. Who is your ideal customer if you are doing business? If it's personal branding, who is your audience? Who are you trying to address with this message? I already cited the example. I will not repeat that. So that is number one. You need to know your audience. The next one is provide value. When people come to your page, they don't want to go. I know somebody who recently, she wrote on, I cited an example of Choma Ifeanyi the other time. She said to me, this person is my friend. She commented on one of the posts there that there are sometimes that when she has missed maybe coming online for some days, or she has missed reading from her for some days, she could stay the whole night reading on her page, on her timeline, catching up with everything that she has missed. That's to help you understand the kind of value that she offers on her profile. Is, there's some things that you do sometimes and you're like, okay, does this really make sense? Sometimes some people could stay awake the whole night seeing a movie or seeing movies, as the case may be. But somebody says that she could stay awake the whole night catching up on somebody's profile. It's not movie that is there. It's right up. You need to go and check out Choma Ifeanyi. So you understand what I'm saying about written text, what I'm saying about value. When people find value on your timeline, on your social media platform, they keep coming back. There are some people today on Facebook that if I don't read from them in like 2-3 days, 1 week, I will go and check. Maybe it's the algorithm that is not in favor of them, that I've not seen their posts, or they have actually not been online. If I check their page or profile and I see that they've been posting, maybe the algorithm has not favored them for whatever reason. Sometimes Facebook can be like that. If I see that they have been posting, okay. If I see that they have not been posting, I will go to their inbox. Some of them, maybe if I have their contacts personally, I'll chat them on WhatsApp, or I'll put a call through. I've not seen you posting in so time. How have you been? People do that to me as well. Me, where I just they grow like this. Because they know that I can't do but show up. I'm consistent, and then I don't just come and dish nonsense. I dish what they look up to. Somebody recently started calling me her role model on social media, and I just laughed, like, what do I know? And this my account is a new one. The other one was hacked. But irrespective of that, what I'm saying is that when you show up, people see you as an authority. They see you as a go-to person. When you provide value, you're not just showing up. You're not just coming to share somebody's post every day on your timeline. Share prayers, share this, share that, share from other people without originality of your own. You are constantly presenting value. People will keep coming to your timeline. The next one is be authentic. I've already added that, and I've said it several times. You need to maintain authenticity and transparency. When we talk about transparency, we're not saying share what you don't want to share. No. We're saying that when you're sharing, share because you want to share. Don't share because you are afraid of what somebody will say. Share it because you have chosen to share it. So don't share a story when somebody will come and comment and say it's a lie, or comment something negative that is going against what you have shared. Of course, you can share fiction. Fiction. If it's fiction, it's fiction. In fact, you don't have to narrate it. excuse me, especially when when you're telling stories, you don't have to make it in a way that people would know that maybe something related to you or somebody related to you or whatever. However, like I said, be authentic. If you don't want to share, don't share. If you want to do fiction instead, do fiction. But whatever you are sharing, let it, there's something they call your voice. That's why I knew when some people submitted their assignment to ChatGPT, there is a kind of tone. There are sometimes, okay, let me cite the example of Choma Ifeanyi again. This my friend that I was talking about that said she can stay awake all night. Sometimes she shares posts from Choma, but she doesn't share. She doesn't use the share, but she will copy it and then post it. Or she will either write on top. Sometimes she writes on top, but most times she writes underneath. That's what she read today from Choma's wall. But the moment I start reading that post, especially when she doesn't write it on top, the moment I start reading from her, I know that this message was written by Choma. And my instinct has never failed. That's because she has built a voice, an authentic voice for herself. She knows, as in, if you have become used to reading from her, there's nowhere that you will find her post, her content, that you will not know that this, even if the person didn't acknowledge it, one, even if the person removes the hashtags that she normally uses, even if the person removes her tagline that she normally uses under, you would know that this content was written by Choma. And that thing has never failed. Immediately I read it to the end, I said, I said it that this is Choma's voice. She already has a tone that she has built. Now, the next one is tell compelling stories. This one cannot be overemphasized. No matter what you are doing, no matter what you are doing, I mean, no matter what you are doing in the online space, tell stories. Like I said, you may decide not to share your personal stories. Me, I share a lot of personal stories, but that doesn't mean that I don't have a private life, right? But if you don't want to share personal stories, you can do fiction. I know people who their work is to write for people. They do ghostwriting. So on their wall, they write stories. Immediately you start reading, the tone will originally tell you that this is fiction. It's not like this thing happened to this person. And there are some people who write their personal story and add a bit of fiction. I have a friend like that. He's into relationship coaching, preparing married couples and all of that. He writes personal stories. Sometimes he infuses fiction into those personal stories just to make it sweet. Because people love to read stories. I'm not sure that there's anybody here that doesn't like to read stories. I'm talking about things that enhance your content creation. They make it effective. Remember, principles, you should tell stories. Another one is maintain consistency. I've already said this over and over. Develop a consistent brand voice. I just talked about that as well. Style and the quality across all your content to establish a brand identity and to reinforce your message. So today we are talking about one thing, tomorrow you are talking about another thing. If you are building a brand online, you need to be consistent. Like, you need to continue to hammer it. Like, this is what I'm saying. If you come, you write a story, at the end, you link your story to the message that you are trying to pass. You know, everything that you please, I need everybody. I think I'll have to add that to your assignment. You need to come and tell me one thing out of everything I've said that you learned from visiting Chioma Ifeanyi's speech. Please write it down, everybody. If you're on this call, write it down. Go and visit Chioma Ifeanyi on Facebook. And then out of everything that I've taught you today, you come and tell me, you write in your assignment, one thing that you learned from visiting her profile. that resonates with you alongside everything I've taught today. So it's a practical example so that you can understand what I am trying to say. And then you can also easily implement in your own brand as well. The next one is optimize for platforms. It means that you should tailor your content format, the length, the tone, to suit the specific platform. I already explained that. You cannot write a content as long as like 400, 500 words on Facebook and on Instagram, or you want to break it down in Twitter. I don't know how easy that would be. So you need to optimize your content for the platform that it's supposed to be for, and then suit your tone. For instance, you can write a content, because it's short content, you can write on Instagram and still use it for WhatsApp. Apologies, I didn't mention WhatsApp as part of the content, social media platforms that you can post content. Apologies about that. I just overlooked it because all of us are used to WhatsApp, and you know that you can do both written and visuals on WhatsApp. It's most common to everybody. So you can post a short content, for instance, on Instagram, and then use it on WhatsApp. You can even use it on Facebook. But remember that I said you need to tone it to suit the platform. So the way you write the story on Instagram, you can just add a little tweak and use it on WhatsApp. You can still pick the same content, add a little tweak, and then put it on Facebook. Or if you're using a page, for instance, you can share from your Instagram directly to Facebook. For normal WhatsApp, that option is now available too. When you post something on your status, it appears directly on your Facebook. It's not yet available for WhatsApp business. I don't know why. But I believe that we already understand what I'm saying when I say optimize your content for the platforms that suits them. The next one is encourage engagement. Prompt interaction. I mentioned it in the last class. Type of content, interactive content. So every day you're posting motivation every day, or you're posting education every day. Even when you're posting an educational content, do you know that you can still infuse some humor? You can still infuse interactive content to it. How do you infuse humor? I will not cite an example, but when you're writing, when you're trying to tell your audience, for instance, okay, let me cite an example. Sorry. For instance, I want to tell my audience why egg is a very important ingredient in making a cake. I would tell them, even though they are eggless cakes anyway, I could add a form of humor by saying, who wants a cake? Who wants their cake to be like a rock? Nobody. So you need to use the right quantity of egg. That's a form of humor. Then in the end, you cannot ask them, oh, now that you have learned how to, or you have learned why eggs are important for you, do you still would you still like to maybe do vanilla cake or do chocolate cake? Or okay, I posted a content yesterday. Sorry, was it yesterday or 2 days ago? I asked, after posting what I wanted to post, in the end, I asked them, are you team puff puff or team buns? And some people responded. So that's one of the examples of encouraging engagement. If I didn't ask that, some people would have just read and passed. Some would have just said, oh, this is yummy. Oh, this is inviting. But some people responded and said, oh, I'm team puff puff. Oh, I'm team. And then before I even closed the content, I answered myself. I said, oh, I'm team puff puff. I prefer puff puff to buns. So, and then other people answered. So that's part of how you can infuse this content into one another. So you mustn't do strictly educational or strictly motivational or strictly humor. You can infuse them into one another. The important thing is that your message is being passed. The audience is receiving the message, whichever type or form that you're using to pass the message. The next one is stay updated. You need to be ahead in your industry. How do you stay ahead? How do you keep yourself abreast of industry trends? You need to do research. You need to do research because algorithm changes. So every time you need to do something, you need to tweak your content to favor the algorithm. There are some times that people will post on Facebook, like people will now start complaining. I noticed Mark is doing this. I have a group where I volunteer for a personal brand. And then when that thing start happening, we notice it. Everybody will start coming to the group. Who has noticed Mark is doing this or Mark is doing that, Mark is doing that. Meaning that algorithm has not been in our favor. So sometimes in those times, those kind of times, if you add picture to your post, it will fly on Facebook. If you celebrate birthday, it will fly. But just your regular post, even if it's not a marketing post, because most times Mark does not allow marketing posts to fly. Any post that has link, it doesn't fly. So people have adopted the method of putting their links in the comment section. Once you put a post and you put link, most times it does not fly. You know, everybody started tweaking. We will now start looking for ways to make our post fly. Another way we do it is when we post like that, we'll bring the link to the group, let people go and engage, so that immediately we engage, the post will stay afloat. It won't sink. Because if your post doesn't receive engagement within the first 10 to 20 minutes, it's likely to sink. So you need to do something to make the algorithm favor you. All these things, you need to know them by staying updated. And then we talked about emerging technologies. Now we're talking about AI. But you need to understand that when you're using AI tool, you also need the human factor to tweak the AI to do the work that you expect it to do. Then I already said, okay, the content strategies. You need to know the content strategies to use to stay relevant. The next one is measure and analyze. I was talking about vein metrics the other time, vein metrics. This aspect of measuring and analyzing is more for social media managers and then advanced level professional content creators. Now, Mark has given the option of professional mode. So if you really want to be monitoring what you're doing, if you want to see the engagement, how it's moving, if you don't just want to judge by likes and comments, which we don't encourage people to do, you can switch on your professional mode. However, professional mode is not for everybody. If you are just starting, you have not yet, even people who are top-notch content creators, they didn't even turn on their professional mode. Anyway, that's a discussion, not for this class. So if you want to measure the performance of your post, your content, I know there's option of insights on Instagram, and then there's the professional mode option on Facebook, so that you can see the engagements as well. Then what's the essence of measuring and analyzing, so that you'll be able to know what is working, you'll be able to know what is not working. You can refine whatever you are doing, maybe tweak it around. Like I said, this particular one is majorly for social media managers who are monitoring other people's social media platforms, because most people who do that, they are either using their personal brand for business, or they are using it for or they are doing either they are using it for personal branding, or they are using it strictly for business. So they need to monitor these things because that is what will drive their sales. So the next one is experiment and iterate. So be open to experimentation. Of course, when you have noticed that one method is not working for you, like I said, when you write, once in a while, pop up your picture, let people see your face. Oh, this is the face behind the fingers, the magic fingers or the magic pen that is writing all this content. Let them see. Try new formats or approaches, and then learn from both your successes and your failures so that you continuously improve your content strategy. Wow, I've already done more than 1 hour. I thought we would do 30 minutes like the other day. Are we still together? Or we should just be going home?
Please, I'm
Okay.
enjoying the class. You can go on.
Okay, the class is looking amazing. The class is looking amazing. So
Okay,
in the next 5 minutes, while we are still listening, I'm going to be sharing the link for
attendance
attendance.
link.
So
Okay.
for people that came and left, please note you were not in this class. And just as I did in the last class, I shared the link to the group. Both people that joined the class and didn't join signed the attendance. We are not going to do it today because we gave a lot of time. We had to upgrade our system to make sure there is no error. People that did Canva yesterday had some errors, so we had to work harder today to make sure everything is working smoothly. So in the next 5 minutes, while you are still listening, we are going to sign attendance. So over to you, Ms. Emanuela.
All right, thank you. Let's wrap up quickly with this last topic. Tools for effective content creation or tools of effective content creation. The first one is content creation apps. Now, I'm going to be sharing, first of all, the basic ones. So it means that everybody in this class can use any or all of this first set that I'm going to be sharing to enhance our content creation game. There are tools that I myself have been using, and for instance, this class that you are seeing was designed on Canva. The presentation slides you are seeing was designed on Canva. So there are basic things that you need to know or employ to up your content creation game. The first one is content creation apps. We have the likes of Grammarly. Grammarly is for proofreading and editing written content. We have Hemingway app for improving readability. So you can use it to read content to yourself so that when you write your content and you listen to it, you understand, you are able to grab if there are errors, you are able to understand if you need to tweak the tone that you are using to present your message and all of that. And then we have the Evernote for organizing your ideas. As you want to know which one comes first, which one should come next. The next one is your notepad. And by notepad, I mean two. Your written note, that's the one you write with your hand. Your notepad where you write with that's your pen and paper, or your book or jotter, as the case may be. And then the notepad on your phone. Because I know that many of us, especially those of us that are no longer in school, we anything book and paper. I mean, anything book and pen, we don't want to see it. We don't even want to hear it. Some of us, at least you have a phone, you have a smartphone, and it has notes inside. Another good option is even if you don't have the luxury of time to type when an idea drops, you can use the Google Voice typing. So you just say what you want to say to the phone and it types for you. So those are tools that you can use. Then we have the Google Docs for your next assignment, you will still see it. You need to download this Google Docs. Even if you don't download every other thing, Google Docs, you need to download it, especially if you're going to be doing more of written content. Quillbot. Quillbot is a paraphrasing tool. For those of you who have gone to embrace ChatGPT, you are going to need to do a lot of paraphrasing, because when you are using ChatGPT to generate content, your brand will not have a voice. AI is going to take over your voice. And remember, I talked about authenticity. The fact that you're generating from AI alone makes your content not authentic. So if you're going to input your brand voice, you're going to have to work on it. And when you have done that, you are going to need a paraphrasing tool so that your content is not plagiarized. Plagiarism means that you are maybe copying other people's content, or they find content that is already on other places with you, because everybody is now using AI. Some people just copy and paste from AI. So when AI generates A for you, it will generate the same A for somebody maybe in Germany, and then the person has posted it on his or her blog, and then it's found on your old blog again. Then people will start fighting. So you need to input a brand voice. Excuse me. And Quillbot is very good for doing that. Paraphrasing to help you to tweak the English around. These are tools that you need to play around with till you eventually find your way. And like I said, YouTube is a learning platform. You can just type on YouTube how to use Quillbot. You will find somebody who has taught that right on YouTube. The next one is graphic design tools. For those who are in the graphics class, you are already being taught about Canva. So there's it's a basic tool that everybody, whether you want to be a graphic designer or not, you just need it. I was telling a friend of mine when he was saying that he wants to learn graphic design, and I can't remember what he was saying, but I was telling him that even if you're still going to give your work to a graphics designer, at least at certain points, you will not be stranded. For instance, I design, but I still have a graphics designer who works for me, because I use, when I'm working, I use the Pareto principle, 80-20. I focus my energy on what will yield results. So if I don't have the luxury of time to design, because I know that at that point or at that time where I am, I need my focus to be on other things that will yield more results for me. I'll just outsource what I want to design. I will just call on my designer, please, I need to do this, I need to do this, I need to do this, and I need it to be ready by so time. He will do it and deliver. But at the times that I know that I'm not in a hurry, I'm not in a rush, I can take my time to tweak things around, to try and retry, to do different designs before I get the one I want, then I'll sit down and do it myself. So those are the times. And then when you have a situation, for instance, I call on my graphics designer and he says that this flyer that I need tomorrow, for instance, cannot be ready by tomorrow. Even if it means that I will not sleep, I have to stay awake all night and design it. That's part of the benefits of having these basic skills. So you are not left stranded. Like my personal brand logo, the one for my cakes and confectionaries, I designed it myself. But the one for the overall brand, it was my graphics designer that designed it. Even when he saw the one I designed, he was like, it's beautiful, it's fine, because I wanted him to still work on it. But I said, it's fine, it's representing. So, because when I needed that logo, he was busy. He was still working for me, but he was working on other things. So I said, okay, let me just do the logo so that he can be able to use it, because I still needed that logo to be used on what he was working on for me. So these tools or these skills that There are basic things that we need for functionality in the online space. They're just basic skills. So Canva, Adobe Photoshop, for those who want to do more professional graphics and picture editing and all of that. Then Pixel Lab is another good tool. When I do IG page revamp for people, I used a lot of Pixel Lab and even Canva. But there are some designs that you can do effectively on Pixel Lab more than Canva, especially if you are using free Canva. So, like I said, there are basic things that when you take them up, they can fetch you quick money. When we talk about urgent 2K, it's one of the benefits of being being a social media person, being in the digital space. Because with this skill, you can grab some money. With this skill, you can grab some money. Just like 2 days ago, a friend of mine just reached out to me and said she wanted me to talk to their secondary school alumni group. She wanted me to teach them content creation, what I'm teaching in this class. Though it may not be as elaborate as this because it's within a shorter period of time. But I'm going to be teaching them content creation, teaching them profile optimization, and something else. And I gave my fee, and the slot is secured. So these are one of the benefits of being in digital space and taking up necessary skills, basic skills that, in quote, can save a life. So Figma is for a more professional level of graphics designing. Those who are doing UI UX, they use Figma. Even in web development, we use Figma. The next one is video editing tools. Your InShot, your CapCut, Render Forest, KineMaster. The beautiful part is that most of these tools can be found on your Play Store, can be found on your Android Play Store. I don't know about iPhone, I'm sorry. Because I know that you can find them on your Google Play Store. Then, for the more professional levels of video editing, we have softwares like Adobe Premiere Pro. Those ones, you can only use them on your laptop. You have the Final Cut Pro or iMovie for professionals, I already said. Now, remember I talked about, at the beginning of this particular topic, I said I'm going to be talking about the basics. So I've talked about the basics. This next set now is for more advanced and professional levels. We have the analytic tools, the Google Analytics. Like I mentioned, the social media manager. A social media manager will need one or more of each of these tools for effectiveness in doing his or her work of managing people's social media platforms. So we have the Google Analytics tools, the Facebook Insight, Twitter Analytics, just to measure performance of the content and audience engagement. The next one is the keyword research tools, Google Word Planner, SEMrush, that's search engine optimization, Ahrefs for identifying relevant keywords and optimizing content for search engines. I'm sure that Mr. Kalu understands that one very, very well because he's an SEO person. Then for stock photos and video libraries, websites like Shutterstock. I forgot to add here, FreePic. FreePic is a very good place where it's a site where you can get free pictures to use for your graphics. Most of the pictures, I think even all of the pictures that I used in these slides, I got them from FreePic. So we have the Unsplash, we have Pexels for accessing high quality image and videos to enhance your content. Then we have the content management systems. We have platforms like WordPress, Squarespace, Joomla for managing and publishing web content. We have, there's something I forgot to add here. We have apps, okay, I think they could come under number 4 because we have apps for, or maybe they come under number 7, content management systems. We also have apps that use a scheduling posts for different platforms, depending on the platforms that you are managing. Those tools are employed mostly by social media managers. So we have the email marketing platforms, MailChimp, Constant Contact, or ConvertKit for printing. We have Sendbox, and a whole lot of them. Now, our assignments. I'm sorry, I hope I didn't bore you. Our class is 2 hours, but I've not even spent 1 hour 30 minutes. Thank you for paying attention. Let me quickly explain this assignment, because the last time people said they didn't understand. Some people said they didn't understand, and I was like, how else do I explain? What's there to understand? Everything that I asked in that assignment was taught in the last class. So if you didn't understand, the best thing to do is to go back and listen. The good thing is that we didn't just share slides, we shared the recording. So you can always listen to the explanation to be able to understand again. So let me explain the assignment. Number 1, define the target audience you want to reach your brand with, or you want to reach with your brand. The target audience you want to reach with your brand, product, or service. So who is your target audience? Like I said, what do you do? Maybe the first thing you should tell me is what you do. So your target audience is women between the ages of 30 and 35, or 30 and 60, who are intentional about healthy living, or maybe you're a fashion designer. So women who are between 25 and 55, career women who like easy dressing, who like simple and dressing, simple and affordable dressing, whatever, or who want you to manage their wardrobe. So because of that, because you offer a ready-to-wear line, you're a fashion designer, so you have a ready-to-wear line. So you're ready to serve those women because they are busy with their work, because of the nature of their work, that is, they are career women, so they don't really have time to visit tailors every time, right? So and they have affordable income, so they can afford what you're selling. Maybe you're ready to wear line starts from, say, 7,000, 8,000. So you don't expect that your target audience will be somebody who is earning 20,000 naira salary, for instance, or a student, because we have students who are even above 25. So you need to define your target audience. Tell me what you do. I'm adding that now, please. Number 1, tell me what you do or what your brand is about. Then you tell me your target audience. It means that I'm giving you assignment to go and research about demographics used in defining target audience. So define your target audience with, for me, using those demographics. Now, number 2 is list the platforms on which you think your target audience is present or are present. I hope you understand. Number 3, post a content suitable for these platforms and attach the links. So when you have defined, okay, your target audience is women between 25 and 55. So women within this age range, where do you find them? On what platforms? You find them on Facebook, you find them on Instagram, you find them on TikTok. Tell me the platforms in number 2. Then number 3, you're going to post a content. So if you are finding them on 4 platforms, you're going to post a content suitable for each of those platforms. And then you copy the link and attach it to your assignment. I attach it as the number 3 of your assignment. So it means that if you are posting on Facebook, you post a content suitable for Facebook, addressing your target audience on Facebook. You post a content suitable for Facebook, you copy the link, attach it. If you are posting maybe a video or something on Instagram suitable for your target audience, You post it, copy the link of that post and attach it. That makes 2 platforms. If you're adding TikTok, post it, copy the link and attach it. That makes 3 platforms. So please, I hope we understand. Then number 4, download Google Docs on your phone. Now, what does Google Docs do? Let me explain this in detail. Whatever content that you want to type or that you intend to put in your social media platform, if it's a written content, type it in your Google Doc. When you're typing, put space, put paragraphs, please. I saw some people's profile and I don't understand what is there. If you have visited my profile, you would have seen the way I write. Please put paragraph, put space between your paragraphs so that your content is readable. So type your post, what you want to post, type it in your Google Docs. And then when you click on the 3 lines on your right, you would see a pop-up, a menu where you see your word counts. So you use this Google Docs to check your word